Paedon Brown, star of Sister Wives, never really got along with the Brown family because he was constantly having problems with someone. He severed all contact with his sister Gwen and father, Kody Brown. However, the famous child is now talking about his relationship with Janelle. Peyton described Janelle's influence on his life and asserted that he was her fourth son. That's not all, though. Peyton went on to tell Dayton the truth about what had actually happened to him and whether he had been expelled from the family show. He even discussed his connection to the latter. Is this accurate? What is the point of this? What had he disclosed? The tea is pretty hot, so continue reading to find out more about this controversy. Peyton, star of Sister Wives, disclosed that people have been inquiring as to whether or not he was speaking with Kody. He questioned whether his audience would hate him if he revealed that he was speaking with his father. This is obviously not the case, though. First of all, would you hate me if I did talk to him? The famous child wrote. No. According to Christine's only son, it has been a long time since he and Kody actually spoke. The last time I actually spoke to him in person was at Garrison's funeral, he wrote. By 2025, it appears that the father-son relationship had soured and they had stopped communicating. That's not all, though. Peyton also stated unequivocally that he would not discuss the dynamics. The intimate ties between Christine and Janelle's families are well known to Sister Wives. They'd always lived as one big family, with their children viewing each other as their mothers. Fans weren't certain, though, how Peyton used to fit into the dynamics or if he thought of Janelle as his mother. As a result, they asked him right away at a recent live session. Peyton quickly clarified that although she only gave birth to him, Christine had other boys. He added that he had always been Janelle's fourth son, even though she had 4 boys. Given that Peyton took 4th place, the celebrity made it apparent that he and Janelle thought of Gabe as her 5th kid. That's not all, though. Peyton continued by discussing Dayton. Peyton responded to reports that Dayton had been removed from the program. He asserted that none of his siblings were ever expelled from the show and that the latter did nothing that would have caused such an incident. The celebrity also disclosed that he didn't even know Dayton's location. Peyton claims that he didn't know anything about Dayton because he never truly kept him informed about his movements. What are your thoughts? Drama, family secrets, and heartfelt confessions have always been abundant in the Sister Wives universe, but Paedon Brown's most recent disclosure has left fans in shock. Paedon, who is well known for his frank and even contentious observations on the complex dynamics of his family, recently dropped another bombshell in an interview that has caused a social media frenzy. Even when the truth undermines the foundation of the Sister Wives fandom, the towering vocal son of Kody and Christine Brown is not one to back down. He's talking about his role in the large Brown family this time, and he's surprisingly admitting something that fans have been debating for years, that he considers himself Janelle's 4th child. That's not all, though. Paedon also provided fresh insight into the true circumstances surrounding Robyn's eldest son, Dayton Brown, whose subdued exit from the family spotlight has sparked speculation for years. What is actually happening behind the scenes, then? Let's examine Paedon's startling admission, Janelle's maternal connection to him, and the real story of Dayton's fate. These revelations have the potential to permanently alter how Sister Wives fans view the family tree. Paedon talked about the mother figure who raised him when Christine was overburdened with her own expanding family in a touching livestream that swiftly went viral on social media sites like Reddit and TikTok. Paedon disclosed, "I've always said I'm my mom's kid, but Janelle, she was like a second mom to me. I grew up in her house almost. I was there all the time, playing with her children and eating her meals. The honorary 4th child was me. To be honest, there were moments when I felt more at home there." This remark struck a different chord with seasoned Sister Wives viewers. Kody's second wife, Janelle Brown, is renowned for her maternal instincts and calm, sensible demeanor. She had 6 children of her own: Logan, Madison, Hunter, Garrison, Gabrielle, and Savannah. When tensions amongst the other women were high, she frequently acted as the family's peacemaker. Paedon didn't mean to offend Christine, his biological mother, with his revelation. Rather, it was an uncommon look into the joint parenting style that characterized the Brown family during their early years of polygamy. It wasn't strange, Paedon clarified. For us, it was typical. Every mother assisted in raising every child. Janelle, on the other hand, was always there for me when I needed her most. Once a utopia of collaboration and shared motherhood, the Sister Wives family dynamic has gradually fallen apart. Fans are reminded of how things used to be and how strong those ties once were when they hear Paedon talk so glowingly of Janelle's steady hand and open heart. Years ago, when Peyton repeatedly showed up in episodes spending time with Janelle's children, especially Garrison and Gabe, fans started to wonder about his relationship with her. Even for the Browns, the three frequently engaged in sibling-like banter, duties, and adventures that looked abnormally close. In a behind-the-scenes interview, a family acquaintance revealed that Janelle treated Paedon like one of her own. Before school, he would arrive at her house, eat breakfast there, and occasionally even collapse on the couch after a hard night. He was essentially in the lineup, and those rumors have been verified by Paedon himself. He chuckled throughout the webcasts, saying, "I spent as much time in Janelle's kitchen as I did in my mom's. She never treated me like an outsider. Grab a plate if you're hungry," she would add. She never showed preference. Years before their final breakup was caught on video, Christine and Kody's marriage was starting to fall apart, making this sense of belonging even more crucial. Beneath his tough guy persona, Paedon was a sensitive soul who leaned into Janelle's grounded, caring presence. Paedon didn't stop there, though. Paedon provided a unique and unexpectedly sympathetic response when fans questioned him about Robyn's eldest son, Dayton Brown, who has been conspicuously missing from recent family get-togethers and episodes. Paedon stated cautiously, Dayton's situation was always complicated. He is a decent man who is loyal, compassionate, and intelligent. However, he became overwhelmed by the stress of everything, including the concert, the transfer, and the conflict between our parents. One of the main characters on Sister Wives was Dayton, Robyn's first marriage's kid, who was eventually adopted by Kody. Supporters recall him as the reserved, introspective kid adjusting to live in a prominent, blended polygamous family. But as time went on, he started to avoid the cameras, preferring privacy to fame. Paedon says the decision wasn't simple. He said he didn't want to be caught in the middle. Dayton simply retreated when Christine went, and tensions between Kody and the others began to rise. In addition to loving his mother, he also adores the rest of the family. And sometimes avoiding conflict is the best way to love both sides. Paedon alluded to Dayton's discreet departure away in order to find peace and start a life apart from the family's turmoil. Fans were reassured by Paedon that he's doing well. He is content while working and learning. That's what counts. Fans, however, detected a hint of sympathy, possibly even guilt, beyond those words. Paedon acknowledged, "We all handled things differently. A few of us reacted violently. A few of us severed our bond. Dayton simply opted for quiet. I honor that." Paedon also admitted that there was still conflict between Kody's elder sons, especially between himself, Garrison, and Gabe, and that Dayton was frequently the mediator due to his reserved demeanor. Paedon laughed as he recalled how Dayton would often advise us to relax when we were younger. He disliked getting into fights. When the noise level rose, he would literally leave. He exuded a composure that made you regret yelling. That quiet manner was in stark contrast to Paedon's talkative nature, but they both understood each other. "We both defend our mothers," Paedon remarked. He would stop at nothing to protect Robyn, and me? I would stand up for Christine. That's simply who we are. However, the once-connected web of relationships between the siblings started to fall apart as the family disintegrated, with Christine, Janelle, and Meri all abandoning Kody. One of the several reminders of how far away they had gone was Dayton's absence. It's strange, Paedon thought. We were this enormous pack once. We now resemble planets in different orbits, more than anything else. Paedon's remarks must have had a profound, intimate meaning for Janelle, who has long been commended by her admirers for her emotional intelligence and even temper. Being seen as a caring force decades later is a testimonial to her character in a family where the boundaries between moms and children were sometimes blurred. According to a close relative, Janelle was always a bridge builder. She cherished Christine's children as if they were her own. She never took sides when things became nasty. She provided him with stability during a time of instability in the family, which is why Paedon holds her in such high regard. In public, Janelle has discussed her experience of shared motherhood, stating that one of the most memorable aspects of her early Sister Wives years was raising 18 kids together. She once remarked, "It wasn't about whose kid was whose. It was about teamwork and love." It is heartwarming and painful to hear Paedon, who is now an adult, declare that love endures even after decades, particularly while Janelle continues to adjust to life after Kody. Online fans conjectured about Christine's possible emotions upon hearing Paedon refer to Janelle as his second mom. However, people who carefully follow Christine are aware that she would respond gracefully. According to a source, Christine and Janelle have a sisterhood that runs deep. Christine would not feel envious. She is, if anything, pleased that her son had a second mom who genuinely cared for him. In public, Christine has commended Janelle's impact on her kids, referring to her as the glue that kept us all functioning during the hard times. In his webcast, Peyton reinforced that feeling by saying, "My mom loves Janelle. It always has. Together they have experienced battle. When I stated it, I believe she understood exactly what I meant. How does this now affect the Browns? It's evident that the family is still getting over the emotional damage from Kody's failed marriages, Paedon's openness, and Dayton's silent departure. Paedon said, "I don't know if we'll ever be what we were. However, I believe we can be something fresh and sincere. All of us are now adults. We can be honest with one another and still be in love." Fans who have followed the Browns through every turn, heartache, and discovery found solace in that hopeful note. In contrast to his more contentious previous remarks, Paedon's maturity and compassion were praised on social media. "He's matured," a fan commented. "His voice is filled with affection as he speaks of Janelle and Dayton. We've always wished to see this Paedon." Every discovery in the expansive narrative of Sister Wives feels like a new chapter in an unfinished book. In addition to being a personal perspective, Paedon Brown's heartfelt admission that he is Janelle's fourth child serves as a reminder of the very unusual origins of the Brown family. Long before fame and conflict took hold, the Browns were known for their unwavering devotion, hazy boundaries, and tenacity. Furthermore, his defense of Dayton, a young man who opted for harmony over drama, emphasizes that despite the reality TV headlines, this is still a family attempting to reconcile. In closing, Paedon stated, "Families fight. Families disband. Ultimately, though, we remain connected. And perhaps one day we'll all get together once more to talk like we used to, without cameras or scripts." Fans will continue to hope that the Browns will be able to rediscover what initially united them as a family in the interim between heartache and recovery.